Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside, inviting you to consider how you walk. How you walk in nature. So, one of the acts of participating in a guided forest therapy walk is to put the emphasis on how we're moving through nature, not how many steps we're going to be taking. It's not a hike, right? Yes, there is a destination, there's a plan, and there's a route. But often, as a guide, I will use the terrain, use the location, different aspects of the forest, access to water, whether it's a hardwood stand or whether I'm surrounded by coniferous trees, to invite participants to participate in different aspects of sensory work. So we do move and we make frequent stops, and sometimes it's on the path, and there are many opportunities to invite participants off the path. And that'll change the sensory experience. It'll change the comfort level. It'll change the timing. So while I'm walking on the path, as I'm, on my own walk, or whether I'm on a guided forest therapy walk with participants, or even if I'm at work and I'm participating in a forest ecology hike with students, it's been remarked that I am light of foot. Some of that has to do with the choice of footwear. At this time of year, if I can, I try and wear what's called a barefoot shoe. So it still has a tread. I'm not walking in my bare feet, but the barefoot style of walking. It's a very thin protective layer. It's got some tread, but it is flat. There's no arch. But the toe bed is much wider. It allows the skeleton of my foot to actually expand and just uses all the muscles in my feet. My feet aren't cramped. That allows me to walk differently. I make contact with the ground a little differently. I don't have that impact on my joints. I also don't have the impact on the ground. But while I'm participating in walking mindfully, I'll do what's called a 6-6. All right, so I'll take 6 steps, and being aware of the trail, being aware of what I'm about to step on, trying to avoid sticks, trying to avoid dry, crunchy leaves, and then I'll stop for 6. Smell, look around, listen. I'm looking for movement. I'm listening for movement. I'm smelling the air, noticing if I'm upwind or downwind of certain aspects of the forest. So it involves breathing deeply. That smell is a complete inhalation through the nose, complete exhalation in the mouth. So a little bit of breath work, and then 6 intentional steps forward, and then I'll stop. And if I can, I'll make a connection. I'm going to look and listen. Listening to the birds. I'm listening to the water. And I'm noticing what's happening around me. How is the wildlife reacting? At this moment, for example, there are some chickadees high in the canopy. They're just calling out to each other. There's probably a half dozen. They're bobbing around. I'm over here. I'm over there. I've got food. I don't have food. And I am outside at this time of day walking my dog. What attention is he drawing to the birds? Are they engaged with him? Are they threatened by his presence? Are they calling out warnings? Because as I take those 6 steps, mindful of where I'm going, I'm noticing in the distance, there are some blue jays. And they are calling out. So there's something drawing their attention a little bit further away. And my voice, not something I usually use while I'm out participating in my own walk or hike. But if I'm with a group of students, could be 10, could be 20, could be 30, could be 40. Obviously moving slowly to let others catch up, waiting for them to gather so that I can share a nature moment, answer some questions. But I'm also looking, noticing movement, smells, contrast of light, using my surroundings, using the terrain. So 6 and 6. Take 6 steps. Take 6 moments to look around. You're noticing movement. You'd be amazed at the wildlife I spot by changing the way I walk. And most of us don't. Most of us, when we're even walking down the street or along a path, and it's a practice behavior. People, look at their feet. Wow, look at me, I'm enjoying nature. I don't want to trip on that. And they're not seeing, hearing, smelling, noticing what's above them, what's around them. So again, depending on my intention, I will change the way I walk. What I'm aware on my feet doesn't, but how I use it does. And so as the leaf litter dries out, I'm going to make more noise. As the leaf litter accumulates in certain areas, definitely going to draw attention, let other living things know that I'm nearby. I'll listen for their reaction. I'll watch for movement. Spotted many deer this way. I've also been able to let the fox that's trying to elude my dog, I'll see them in the distance, and they are very successful at not being noticed by Mr. Indiana Bones as a route. But the squirrels and the chipmunks do the same, and I'm watching him too while I'm at it. So walking with the dog changes everything. If I can keep an eye on him and what he's doing and why he's doing it, let me know that I've got access to other living things, members of the wildlife community, birds, chipmunks, squirrels. Those animals will indicate to other wildlife that there's a threat. Or if you spend as much time as I do along these trails, feeding them from time to time, some of them become to notice that I am a source of food. So they'll often join us and can use that. So 6 and 6, change the way you walk. You'd be amazed at the connections that are possible as you notice the act of being present, being mindful, noticing and being aware of your impact on the wildlife community. But you'll also start to notice individuals. You start to notice the trees in the forest. You'll start to notice changes in their growth and development as it goes through the seasons, especially if you're in the habit of walking the same paths, same trails throughout the seasons. The act of noticing changes in the natural environment through the seasons is known as phenology. And with that knowledge, I can use that terrain, use those individuals in the forest to help monitor animal movement, their patterns. As the oak trees start to drop their acorns, I'll notice deer passing, changing their normal routes along the water to find high ground where the oaks are, nice and high and dry. I'll notice the turkeys start to move around as certain patches of the forest no longer have low-growing perennials and fruiting plants, buds. They'll start to change their behavior, look for the nuts and mushrooms. So keep an eye on those. And as someone who does harvest fungi at this time of year, yeah, I'll stop and notice, keep track of the different growth stages of those things that I'm looking forward to harvesting when they're ready. Noticing if members of the wildlife community are also sharing in those seasonal bounties. So 6 steps, and then 6 moments. Take a look around, smell, notice. It takes a little longer, it does. But if your intention is to be present, be mindful, and share some nature connection, then that is one strategy that works very well. And you are covering some ground. Right? It's more than just pausing and sharing that experience in one location, experiencing different terrains, different aspects of the forest, more access to other living things, greater exposure to biodiversity and small microbiomes within the forest, deepens the connection, broadens the connection, gives you greater appreciation. Right? So one strategy, it's a little slower, but it does help you connect with yourself, with your environment. Thanks for participating. I appreciate that. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.